Burkina Faso and Mali managed to kick France out from their countries. But unfortunately, that is not the case with Niger so far. France is refusing to leave Niger. Instead, they are even threatening the government. I'm referring to military government of Niger. They are threatening them to invade the country in case if they don't do what France is asking them.
I think that our policy is correct. It is based on the courage of President Bazoum, on the commitment of our diplomats and our ambassador, who will stay despite pressure and despite illegal claims of authority, as well as on the efforts of our internal security forces and of our army. We are not involved. We should not give in to coup leaders' narrative which says that France has become our enemy. The problem of Nigerians today is coup leaders who are putting them in danger by giving up the fight against terrorism, by abandoning an economic policy which was good for the country, and who are losing all international funding which was allowing the people to lift out of poverty.
Now let us look the link between France and Niger. France colonized the West country in 1898 and ruled for over 60 years. Niger ended up getting their independence in 1960, but regardless of this so-called freedom that they had received from France, there was still the presence of France all over the country up to date. France usually export uranium from Niger in return of what? Well, they did all that in return of sending their troops in Niger to fight rebels. And we all know who are the leaders of these rebel groups if it is not the West that like to put trouble among Africans so that they'll get a better excuses for them to come and loot Africa. But as for the coup supporters, which is people of Niger, it says that they are fed up with the France government that always come to interfere in their affair and telling them what they have to do. Now let us go in the central of Africa. This time we're in Gabon, where the military coup just took place last week. There is a serious calm in Gabon as we're talking right now. Gabon too was colonized by France, and they're having their military base in Gabon right now as we're talking. Again here you'll see that France did manage to place his militaries all over to the countries that they had colonized so that they'll have an easy way to control those countries. But so far, these France militaries that are in Gabon, they are so calm and they're not doing much about it because right now their all angers is focused on the Bongo's family for being arrested by this military government. We are talking about a family that had led Gabon for over 55 years. The family that was untouchable. Today, they find themselves under the house arrest from this military government. President Ali Bongo is in detention by this same military government. His son Nurettin Bongo is being also arrested. And everyone that's been loyal to these families, they are all under arrest, which is normal, by the way. Whenever there is a military coup, you look for people who were the most trusted or for the so-called leader that you want to take down. Those are the people that you need to have control of them before they come to destroy whatever you had planned for. But when all this is happening, on the other side, the Republic of Gabon had a new president. The Republic of Gabon, they are now having a new transitions leader, or should I say, a new president who have sworn in.
Je jure devant Dieu et le peuple gabonais.
I swear before God and the Gabonese people to loyally preserve the republican regime, to respect and uphold respect in the transitional charter and the law, to carry out my duties for the higher interests of the people, to preserve the gains of democracy, the independence of the homeland, and the integrity of the nation's territory.
That is the new president of Republic of Gabon who just sworn in and take control of the country. But what can we say about this man? Can he be trusted by people of Gabon? Because already there is some rumors which has been going on. Apparently, this man, he is a cousin brother to President Ali Bongo. And that was the reason why Ali Bongo trusted him and put him as one of the men that he trusted for him to protect Ali Bongo. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore because the man ended up changing and turning back against his own brother. Now, can people of Gabon trust this man? Because At the same time as we're talking, according to our results as we are having in our possession, there is already some allegations against him because the man is owing 2 houses in France which have the net worth of more than 2 million per each house. And when he was asked a question about this house and how he managed to make such kind of money as a military, his answer was clear. He said, I quote, "It is better to mind your own business and don't put your nose where it does not belong, and don't interfere in family matters." Was that a way of him trying to tell people that the money that he bought those houses with, the money that he got from his brother, it is a money that he got from his cousin brother Ali Bongo? Well, we know this is Africa and how things works in Africa. But the question is still to know, can this man be trusted by people of Gabon? Why is France quiet about him? Why France with the West, they're not putting a lot of pressure as they're doing in Niger? Why France is not threatening to invade Gabon as they're doing with Niger? Could it perhaps be that France, they are behind this military coup in Gabon? Could it also be that France, they decided to abandon Ali Bongo and get rid of him by replacing him with someone else to come and take over Gabon? Because France, they have their military base in Gabon. Because France, they have all the so-called power that they believe they've been using that country for so many years. Why they're not applying the same thing as they're doing in Niger? President Ali Bongo gave this message calling for his friend to come to rescue him. Since he made this call up to now, we have not had that much pressure coming from France with the West. All they did in return as their response to this call from Ali Bongo was to ask this military government to not hurt Ali Bongo with his family. They have not asked this military government that they should stay in power. Do you think this man who just sworn in as a president of Gabon will hand over power to the civilians? These are the capital questions that we need to find out exactly what are the intention of this man. Is it there for Gabon people or is it there in behalf of France? Is it there to prepare also the space for another new dictators to come and take over Gabon? Or is it the one actually who's going to remain there forever? Because we need to know exactly what is his position. In Niger, Hunde had to come and give at least the schedule on how they are going to hand over power to the civilians in the next near future. But that is not the case with Gabon because so far this man just came and sworn in, but he never come forward and said that, okay, we'll hand power to the civilians or we'll have to organize the elections in this near future. Let's hope that we did not get rid of a lion in order for us to invite a leopard to come in the house and start showing us. Because the only things I noted from this Gabon military government, it is only when they said that they are going to withdraw or put everything from zero, the Gabon constitutions about the mandates and the terms that the president is supposed to be having. So they are planning to do something that will take very long procedure in order for it to be achieved because obviously, in order for you to go and touch the constitutions, you can't touch the constitutions as a military. Instead, it is the parliamentary that they have the right to go and touch the constitutions, of course, with the mandate which they had been given by people of Gabon. So, will that take place? How is it going to work? Of course, we are observing to see what will happen, and we'll get back here again in the future to tell you exactly what will happen. Now let us talk, why is France resisting to not leave Niger? Well, France is refusing to leave Niger for one simple reason. If they have to leave Niger, they are going to lose the West Africa. Because remember, we are having Burkina Faso and Mali, where France, they are no longer having their power over those two countries. And if they have to let go of Niger, which means there will be another next French countries that will ask France to leave their country. And they are well aware that the Africa, it is under it revolutionary. And a lot of African countries, they are standing up asking for the West and France to leave their countries. When all this is happening, African countries, they are busy finding their new partners such as Russia and China. And that is what is driving them crazy because they get to see that After all these years, they never come to this point whereby African countries will start asking them to leave their countries. African countries will start asking them to stop their ties or their friendship or whatsoever that's been going on in this so-called their relationship that they usually have with Africa continent. So they don't want to let of Africa. As I told you in one of our previous video, that Africa, I compare it to this beautiful young lady that each and every man who sees her wants to be with her. So obviously there'll be those men who will come in her life to abuse her. There'll be those men who will come to love her for real. There'll be those men who will come and try to respect her as a woman. And that is how I see Africa continent. When he said that everything we are having, it is all thanks to Africa, because Africa, it is the right hand that's been feeding us. So they have a lot to lose if they have to accept to leave Africa. Since they know that their life is in Africa, they usually get to win everything, all thanks to Africa. They usually get to become more powerful in the world, all thanks to Africa countries. That is the reason why you see France, they don't want to leave Africa. They want to become that empire that don't want to collapse. Well, I can guarantee you this. They are resisting because they don't have power to face African nations anymore. Africans have understood their game. Africans, they have now a clear idea of how these people play their games. Therefore, Africans are even more determined to go ahead and face France with their alliance that they are trying to impose their leadership all over Africa continent. Just as it is happening right now in Niger. People of Niger get to listen to the message of Pan-Africans who've been calling and motivating one another to make sure that we all remain united. The message is loud and clear. It is about time Africa start developing by its own, with their own people. But in order for Africa to do that, they need to get rid of everyone who usually disturb the development of Africa continent. And that's what Africans, they are doing right now. So France, they can try to resist in Niger or other places in Africa, but their days are numbered. And they are not going to be able to resist the whole entire Africa, because the alert has already been ringed out there, and each and every African around the world, we are all united and we're making sure that things should happen accordingly. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video up to now. That would be all for today, because we believe that we had to come back here and try to give you our analysis about what is happening in these two beautiful countries, Gabon and Niger, in the west of Africa. So if you did indeed find anything important or beneficial in this video, don't leave without giving us your thumbs up. We really do appreciate, because whenever you get a chance to like this video, it will motivate us to do even much more better, and this video will be recommended to many people out there, so that this message can be spread all over the world. But if this is your first time to watch our videos, well, this is a family chat. This is African talk, whereby we sit down, we educate one another, we talk about matters that concern Africa, and we try to see on how we can help this beautiful motherland called Africa to go forward from development in different places, and for it to get developed in the way that's supposed to be developing after all these years. So if you don't want to miss any of our videos, you just have to make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you hit also that ring button, so that whenever we upload our new videos, you don't miss any of it. Well, that will be all for today. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone. In order for you to be respected, run out of trouble, because we still need you here. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.